for the weekend. This weekend, Chelsea beat Bayern Munich on penalties to take home football's most coveted trophy. It's now the most watched annual sporting event worldwide.
Little wonder that for the sponsors of the UEFA Champions League final, the appeal has dollar signs, or euro signs, should I say, written all over it. 160 million are said to have tuned in across the globe on Saturday, while a crowd of almost 70,000 watched the game live at the Allianz Arena in Munich.
Well, Spain have provided the most champions with 13 wins from 2 clubs. 7 English teams have made it to the final in the past 8 seasons. And as a nation that's said to love beer, could that be why Heineken have been one of the primary sponsors since 1994?
What a finer combination could we bring you on a Monday lunchtime than football and beer? Seems a bit early on in the week for that kind of thing. But
it is. Let's attack it straight on. Head on.
Yeah, head on. Joining us to talk about everything about this business is Chief Commercial Officer at Heineken, Alexis Nasard. And Michael's still here. He's going to have a few things to say about beer and rugby and sport in general, I suspect. Did you enjoy the game? Was that the kind of spectacle you were hoping for? It was certainly a nail-biting finish.
It was a grand evening. I mean, the atmosphere and the outcome, which was totally not clear since the beginning, made it really a high suspense evening for us. And the crowd was actually at record levels. We had almost 180 million watching it.
The Germans always win on penalties, don't they?
Well, that's what we've been brought up to believe. The Germans always win on penalties and the Irish win at rugby. So it was almost
You're
a perfect
funny man,
weekend.
aren't you? You're a funny man.
What can I say? Man City, Munster, Leinster.
Yeah.
It's hard to hide our light under a bushel.
Yeah, Leinster won. Let me just Leinster won this weekend.
Well, you can't get everything
Not
right.
Munster.
But we drank plenty of Heineken anyway. Great product. God bless you.
Alexis, does Heineken actually, is it maintaining its, budget for sponsorship? It's difficult times. Many people are drinking less beer than they were just a year ago. We're in the middle of a recession. So why does it make sense for you to actually stick to these programs?
We sell 60% emotions and 40% barley, hops, water and yeast. So activating interesting sponsorship platforms, doing great design, good advertising is really the lifeline of our business. So we're very, very committed to keeping those, and the Champions League has a critical role to play in that. Because what is unique about sponsorship is that in sponsorship program, you actually participate in the experience of the consumer, which creates a tighter bond.
Emotions, you're in the business of emotions.
Yeah, I mean, Ryanair is all about emotion. We sell as much Heineken as we can on board our aircraft. I think that the Heineken has been a terrific sponsor. I mean, the rugby, which I know and love, the fact that they can actually call the Heineken Cup after the beer, I think is very innovative, in the same way we sponsor a race in Cheltenham called the Ryanair Chase. And if you can get your name on the competition, it always seems to me to be a much better way of using your sponsorship money than sponsoring some individual sports person or team.
What do you get back from that?
For us with Cheltenham, the great thing about Cheltenham is there's about a 6-month run into Cheltenham. Almost from the time when the jump season starts, people are talking about Cheltenham, speculating about Cheltenham. So we get a huge amount of bang for a relatively small amount of Ryanair buck in the Ryanair Chase. And there's no doubt that in the rugby, the Heineken Cup runs all winter long. It's a great sponsorship. Clearly, the European Cup, nobody's ever going to get the name of the European Cup in soccer, but in rugby, I think, and the fact that Heineken Rugby Post H, it's a brilliant and very innovative sponsorship.
And Alexis, why is it a winning combination really to focus on rugby and football when you could be sponsoring many other things?
You see, sponsorship, for it to work, it needs to be very sharply designed and targeted. You need to have endurance. You need to be focusing on few platforms that you activate over time. Otherwise, the bond between a brand, the relationship between a brand and an event will never be there. And importantly, there needs to be an image fit between a sponsorship platform and a brand. And we believe with the platforms that we sponsor, there is a fit in the area of worldliness and premiumness. Because ultimately, the positioning of the Heineken brand is to be a man of the world. And we believe these 2 platforms fit that description very well.
The relationship between beer and football is a difficult one. Munich this weekend decided that there would be no alcohol. Your adverts, and I actually went back and looked at last year's game as well, your adverts are enjoy responsibly. Are you having to get over some sort of preconceived ideas here? Is there pressure on you to make sure that alcohol isn't seen as being an integral part of the sport? How do you make that work?
Enjoyment is what we are about. Enjoyment is what sport is about. And ultimately, we believe that our objective to drive our business and to drive responsible drinking are totally consistent. The reality is that we don't necessarily need to drive our business on the basis of bigger consumption at drinking occasions, but our more penetration and more market share. And we can achieve that by doing our responsible work in a cool and interesting way for our consumers.
All right,
Okay.
Alexis, thank you so much. Alexis Nasard, their Chief Commercial Officer at Heineken, thank you for being with us today. And Michael Leary, thank you also for your time.
Thank you.